4, 3,
Oh
2,
shit! I'm not
1.
ready. Hold on.
We're
You said
live.
go. Hold on, I gotta fix the
We've been
audio,
live
of
for
course.
8. We've
We're
been live
live,
for
but we're
8
not
seconds.
recording a podcast, so who gives a shit?
That's fine. It doesn't matter.
Hold on, I'll let you know. What? Yes, it's the same fucking thing. Why do you... I'm recording now. 45-minute clock has started. We're doing whatever.
Yeah!
But why? It's like, do you want to use this instead? I'm like, yeah, that's the exact same fucking thing. Nothing has changed.
Right.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm just pissed.
Well, I think today, in honor of Avatar, we'll talk about the career of James Cameron briefly.
Avatar 2.
Ooh, that's right. Avatar 2 coming out today in big
Today?
screen. Yeah, it comes out today.
Phoenix West. Dick
Dick
it.
Dickhead. Don't care.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares about Avatar 2.
I will say this, though. Who has made more money in our lifetime other than Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk? James Cameron's probably on the top 10 that we could think of, right?
Well, Kevin Feige, I think, is taking the crown, but James Cameron always don't
individually,
put him out.
though.
Right. With his movies. He'd never, ever, ever say James Cameron's out.
No. I will say this, though. Fuck Avatar 2. Don't give a shit.
No, yeah, I do not care.
So you mentioned you want to talk about him. Is this more of a go through each movie conversation?
Yeah, I think would do that because most of his movies are good, but some of them I just don't care for. Yeah, I love Terminator, Aliens, Terminator 2, True Lies, Abyss. Everything before Titanic is actually pretty fucking solid.
Let's go through each movie quickly. That's fine.
Yeah. And I have to give the guy credit because he's a smart guy. And he started off as a trucker, Canadian guy who's a trucker in Canada, saw Star Wars, and he's like, oh shit, the technology is there, so I kind of want to do movies. So he's a self-made man, so you gotta give him credit there.
I give James Cameron all the credit in the world.
Yeah.
The man, he's really good, like, artist. Like, he did a lot of his own, like, one of his first movies, like a lot of his own like sketches and models and stuff. The man knows what he wants and knows how to do it. And if he doesn't know how to do it, he will learn how to do it, which is really what you're looking for. The man is like the perfect example of the American dream. If I don't know how to do it, I'll find someone who knows how to do it and we'll learn how to do it better. And I'll make this thing that I want to do. The man's an artist, even though you don't think of him when you think of artists.
No. And he's a big fat asshole.
He can make money.
But he always makes money. His Titanic, I thought he was over. I remember when that movie came out and they were saying this is the biggest movie of all time, budget-wise. I was like, that movie ain't going to make no money. Nobody gives a shit about Titanic. How wrong was I? It's still the number 1 or number 2 movie of all time.
Well, let's look at his directing movies. 1987, Near Dark. 1990, Blue Steel. 1991, Point Break. Oh, shit. I'm on Catherine Bigelow's Wikipedia.
That's his fuck bitches
I'm so sorry.
filmography.
I'm so sorry. Disregard me.
That was the woman he was stooping at the time.
She has an Oscar, and oh, shit. I'm so sorry. He does, but
he has 3.
He does, but not... Yeah, I'm so sorry. I was thinking...
I think, actually, he might have 4 Oscars.
For directing.
No, but I mean, for he got an editing. He got an editing Oscar, Best Picture Oscar, and Best Directing Oscar. I think he's got 3.
Let's actually talk about the man that wrote. Let's talk about his directing. We're director fans, you and I. I would say we're director fans more than writing fans.
Maybe.
But I can list every movie a certain director's made, but I can't list every movie they wrote because they have so much like behind the scenes stuff that you don't know.
Right. Well, yeah, that's the thing. A lot of it's all arbitrary. No one knows. Yeah.
So let's go off James Cameron directing, if we could, real quick.
Which anybody would, because that's what he's known for.
1981, Piranha 2: The Spawning. Don't
which
like
was
it.
taken away from him, and he got it and he tried to fix it
It sucks.
himself. But it's a low budget, no budget movie, and
It's
he's
a
learning.
what's his name? Oh my god,
Roger
why?
Corman.
Roger Corman. Thank you. I
Yeah.
blanked on his name. Couldn't, but not his movie. Let's just say that
No, it wasn't.
his first
But
actual
yeah.
movie, The Terminator.
Yeah.
Guy made a fucking ton of money off the Terminator.
Yep.
Great idea, even bolder casting direction there to cast Arnold Schwarzenegger as a lead of an action movie. Could not have gone more right.
Nice night for a walk.
For most people, that would be like their flash in the pan. Rest of their careers, they're ghostwriting scripts or directing an episode of Clarissa Explains It All, and that's it. He decides to do the sequel to one of the best sci-fi movies of all time with Aliens.
I heard a story about that, an anecdote recently. I thought was funny. They said there's a famous pitch meeting that James Cameron walks into the Fox Studios, and they said, "Okay, so pitch us your idea for Alien 2." And he walked up to the board in his whiteboard. He writes Alien, and all of a sudden he puts an S on it. He throws the pen down. He walks out. He said, that's the idea, Aliens, and that's it. That's all I have to tell you. And they said, okay, we'll go with it. So
I can see that, but also it's like an SNL sketch.
Yeah, he was like, fuck you. It's going to be more than one. So fuck, it's Aliens, which is great because Aliens is a great movie. I think Aliens it's a different movie from Alien 1.
Game over, man.
Oh, but it's such a beautiful movie. Such a beautiful.
You know my raging hard on for Bill Paxton.
It's beautiful, man. It's game over.
Oh my God, you have it.
Game over, man.
Oh my God. Why is this just now coming up?
Let's put her in charge. He was in a bag for a long time. I just put him out the other day, not too long ago. Now he's in my desk.
Send me a picture of that, like a real good picture of it. I want to see that.
I got Michael Biehn too. He's on the shelf.
Oh God. Well, he's been on the shelf for decades.
So here it comes.
I personally like Alien more than Aliens. I don't know about you, but it's like a 5% like it more.
Right.
It's real close. I just like the horror aspect. It's a slasher movie in space. That's what I like more about it. I like horror movie more than action movies, I guess. There's a good way to put it. But how do you feel?
Well, I feel like they're two separate movies. Like it's just not even there's two different genres because Alien is more of a hardcore sci-fi horror movie, whereas Aliens is more of an action sci-fi movie. So I feel like they're two separate movies. They don't even connect. The only connecting tissue is the location and Ripley, and that's really it. Yeah. And Ripley's a completely different character. So it's like it's its own movie to me.
She's more jaded, more cold, more sarcastic in the sequel. Yeah. She's dealt with this shit before. She has like that hard-edged Marine thing, which the movie's going for because it's Space Marines.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Aliens, you would not have your Halo series of video games.
No. Aliens, there's a lot. Aliens really. I mean, there's a lot of aping out of Aliens for a lot of different things for the next 50 years.
I'm going to share this here because it is a really good picture you just sent. It's really crisp.
Yeah, there he is. Man. Game over, man.
Literally his face halfway through that line. That is incredible.
That was the NECA 2-pack with Sean Bean or Michael Biehn and Bill Paxton.
Why is his bicep so big and his forearm so small is beyond me.
And his legs all skewed. He's got a really bad ankle. He's got a bad ankle on him.
I got Peter Dinklagitis.
I'm underground. My shin bone didn't grow so well.
I won't survive through the movie anyway, man. It's fine.
You want a piece of me? Come on. Fuck you. Fuck you too. Ah! He dies. He's done. But Aliens I've always, but you know, the whole thing with Cameron, if you watch the Aliens special edition, like special features, that really long documentary,
I have not.
It's worth watching because it's fascinating. And he is such a dick because the crew in England hates him because he's like, because he's a pro. Like James Cameron knows what he's doing. So when they question him, he immediately responds with, fuck you. I know it's right because I'm going to tell you why it's right. And he'll basically, and he hated that they had tea time because in England they have an hour break for tea time. Yeah. So he's like, what the fuck is this? I want to get the shot done. And well, you can't do anything. You can't work right now. He goes, well, fuck you. I'm going to give me the camera. I'll go shoot it myself. And that's kind of what he did. And there's a bit behind the scenes where he's playing with the face huggers. And there's that scene where Newton and Ripley are in the medical bay, and Paul Reiser has locked down the room and put the face huggers in there. So he's like trying to explain how he wants it to shoot, like how he wants to film it. And he goes, "Why can't you guys do that? Like, why are you having a hard time with
his
this?"
flannel glory.
Yeah, he is flanneled out, and he goes, give me some wire. Like, just give me some wire." And he got wire or fish string. He puts it on the model, and he pulls it toward the camera. He goes, "There you go. I did it. I just did it. It took me 2 minutes."
The audio cut out. Just take a pause. Hold on. Let's try this.
I got it.
Now go ahead.
Yeah. And
the wire, you said took me 2 minutes. Oh shit! Now mine turned off.
He basically just said, like, you guys bitched and moaned about how you couldn't do this, and I just did it in 2 minutes. So I did it. I had no problem doing it. So what's your problem? Like, he just didn't put up with bullshit, and they hated him for it.
Kind of the difference between British and American like entrepreneurship. Like I want this fucking thing done so I can move on to my next thing. And the British are like, let's get this right.
Right. Yeah.
How the British worked with Stanley Kubrick is beyond me.
Well, he always worked. He lived there though. He worked with him all the time.
Yes, but how the fuck did he's a man known for his let's do 10,000 takes of this. But I guess the British were like, it's fine, we'll get it right.
And as long as they have their tea time. And I'm sure Kubrick was like,
all right, you get your shot correct.
Yeah,
we'll move on, mate. So maybe I can see it now that I've explained it to myself. But
there you go. Well, who was our British teacher in film school who was the AD on a bunch of movies?
No, Levy. Rose.
No, Levy. You're right. It was Levy. Rose was
British. Rose was Australian, right?
I don't know what he was. I don't think
he was a mysterious alligator neck version of someone.
Yeah. I think he was Canadian. He might have been a Canadian.
He was not Canadian.
I don't know. He was something.
Sunlight.
I'm from Oakland.
His legit name was Charlie Rose.
Charlie Rose. That's right. Yeah.
That's all I can say. He was not the Charlie Rose, but he certainly was a Charlie Rose, and I'm 100% certain he was Australian.
Maybe he didn't have an accent though.
The stories, yeah, he was Australian.
He loves Christopher Doyle. I remember that DP.
Your audio tonight has been a shit show with timing. It's completely StreamYard, who has not stopped sending me emails about how great their platform is now, and they cannot fucking keep up. I have top speed internet. I don't know about Dick's.
I'm supposed to.
I know Jansen's is as good as mine.
They told me
I had problems.
They told me I had high speed. They told me I had high speed internet or the highest speed. So I think it's just my mic. I gotta get a new microphone. I think it's not plugging into the computer anymore. It's like the wires are loose and they're not sticking because the light is on and it starts to fade and it goes out again. It's the microphone. I'm gonna have to get a new microphone next week or something. Invest in a better one because I'm so cheap. You're lucky it's not the one I used to have, which was really bad. I just need to buy a new one.
You still on the one that like sits on your desk?
No, I have. There you go. No, I got
everything you just said. I didn't hear.
This is the one. I'll send it to you right now.
Why is Facebook Messenger a more accurate description than your live microphone and camera? StreamYard, I'm paying every single month for your service, and it's been terrible.
Yeah,
I'm not a guy who bitches about this sort of stuff either, and I hate to fucking blast you, but like, we got rid of what is that other service called that we stopped doing that Frank keeps recommending? What is that
Oh,
called? Skype. We got rid of
Skype.
Skype because fuck
Yeah.
Skype. I do love streaming.
Yeah.
Do not get me wrong, but it's been bad lately. And my internet has
not right.
changed. I'm willing to
that's
admit
weird.
that I work in tech, tech service and stuff like that. It's your computer has problems, but it's consistent, and I've ruled out my end at this point. It's bad. Anyway, let's move on from aliens. I actually forgot what show we're doing because it's been so long since we had a successful communication.
James Cameron.
The Abyss. Ed Harris.
Chris?
There's probably other people in that movie, but Ed Harris is all I remember.
I think Bill Paxton. Bill Paxton's in it.
No, of course he's in it.
No, Michael Bihn's in it. You know what? No, it's Michael Biehn, not Bill Paxton.
What a fucking crime.
Michael Biehn, I think, blows up because he's a bad guy. Yeah. And it's got the guy. There's a couple character actors in there for good measure, and then there's like water.
Chris Elliott.
Water aliens are in it.
Chris Elliott's in it.
Really? I can't remember.
Yeah. He plays Bendix.
He plays cabin boy. These pipes are...
I want to look him up specifically for that movie. Chris Elliott Abyss. Here he goes. Here he is. Yeah, there's him talking to Ed Harris. He looks like a Tennessee trucker. But here he is right here.
Ooh. Yeah,
that's Chris Elliott. He has no hair already.
Is that Dean Norris or is that Ed Harris?
That's Ed Harris.
Oh, okay.
No, wasn't it? That is not Ed Harris. That is definitely not. I assume that was Ed Harris at the corner of my eye, but that is not Ed Harris.
It looks like William Hurt from here, or is it Dean Norris?
I noticed that it says Schitt's Creek star Chris Elliott reveals why he probably won't work with James Cameron again.
Ooh.
Answer: he won't return my calls. Turns out I'm Chris Elliott.
Does James Cameron not remember Chris Elliott?
Summarizing what the article probably says.
Chris Elliott, who?
I will say The Abyss. It's a fine movie. It's good, solid. I like the ending with even though it's very over emotional, how he saves her with the CPR, all that shit. Really good, fine movie. I do enjoy The Abyss more than probably like new generation people, if they were to watch it fresh, do, because I grew up on it. Dick, I'm assuming the same thoughts.
Yeah. Well, I always remember it because they had that opening where the big tidal waves were going to come and hit the coasts.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
The opening sequence. And I think there's a director's cut where they go into more detail on that. And it's just more about the aliens under the ocean or something.
Here's
a lot more.
Michael Biehn.
Yeah, he looks like a bad guy. Yeah, he's like a real bad guy. He looks like Mark Hamill.
No, it's a fun movie. It's interesting.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like now, if you were to put all of his movies in a blender and have AI write and make the movie, it would turn out The Abyss.
Yeah.
But The Abyss is fun. I like it. I give it a 7. Nothing.
Yeah, I would say it's
amazing.
Yeah, it's a 7
movie.
Yeah. But I think what saved his career, though,
was the next movie,
which is one of the greatest action films of all time.
Yes.
Terminator 2, Judgment Day.
I don't have a whole lot of action movies in my top 100. This is one of them, though.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I love Terminator, the original. Don't get me wrong, but Terminator 2 elevates it in every
absolutely
great possible way that you can elevate an action movie. Action movie sequels suck. Bad Boys 2 can't fucking stand. Die Hard 2 It's definitely not as good as the first one or third one. I'll say that.
Right. Yes, but still enjoyable. I do like Die Hard
2 sucks compared to the first and third one.
Not very good.
No.
You think the third one's better?
John Landis.
The third Beverly Hills Cop is better.
The third one is way better.
He's a genius. He's a genius.
John Landis made the third one. I really do enjoy the third one, actually more than the first one. Beverly Hills Cop 3 is my favorite Beverly Hills Cop movie.
Really? Ooh, that's shocking.
Wonderful, wonderful, happiness is king.
And then
Yeah,
they
I
kill
love that movie.
each other. They use the Battlestar Galactica robots to attack each other on the earthquake set at the tram at Universal, which is
It
hilarious.
has so many funny jokes that are relevant to like California specific.
Yeah,
Love it.
I need to get that one on Blu-ray.
It is a fun movie. Get it on Laserdisc like I do.
Yes, frame it, put it in a big frame, put on the wall.
John Landis made it for some fucking reason.
Well,
Anyway.
that's what he said. Well, John Landis, his quote was, "I worked with Eddie in the beginning of Trading Places, and I worked with him in his where he didn't think he was funny enough. Then I worked with him in Coming to America, which he was the king of comedy, and then Beverly Hills Cop 3, I worked with him. He didn't want to be funny anymore. He wanted to be an action hero. So,
and ironically, it's the funniest of the three movies,
right? Yeah,
because it's literally Eddie Murphy like looking at people and going and just making jokes, and that's it.
Surge.
But I think it's partially because he doesn't want to be there for the third one. That's kind of why I like it, even as a kid, because it came out when I was 10, and I was like, yes, this movie.
I think Eddie Murphy had a point in his career where he was kind of pissed off for a time. And I think Bowfinger was a good movie. I think he was happy.
Bowfinger was the one where he went, I can be serious.
Yeah, I liked. Yeah, Bowfinger is a great movie. I love Bowfinger
because there was so much praise surrounding that movie and his performance, and he goes, "I can do," and then it was just fucking. He was looking at Robin Williams, going, "He can do it." So obviously, I can. Oh, I can't as well as he can.
But the problem was, he had all those good graces made with Bowfinger, and he churns out Norbit, which is one of the worst movies ever made. One of the worst movies ever made.
Because even like the Pluto Nash,
that's
a
bad
fun
too.
bad movie.
Yeah,
Norbit, there's no fun.
Bad.
There's no fun. Like it's not even like, oh, he made a bad. No,
Showtime is terrible. The De Niro
I never saw that.
That's a bad movie. That's a bad one. Now we're talking about Eddie Murphy, not James Cameron.
Okay, True Lies is next, which is a movie that came out when I was 10. We
didn't even talk about T2.
We talked about it briefly. What do we need to say about T2 that hasn't been said? Dick, take your time. Go ahead. Although we're 22 minutes into a 45-minute show.
The director's cut is way worse than the theatrical cut. That's one of the examples where the theatrical cut is way better than the director's cut. Is T2.
I have watched Adam's version that he sent me. I don't disagree, but I don't have the movie memorized enough to know the difference for some scenes. Some of them it's very obvious though.
Right.
The opening is very obvious.
Yes, there's a lot more in the ending.
Oh my god, the opening, she goes on and on. I'm like, okay.
Well, the scene where Kyle Reese comes back in her head and says, "Get up, soldier!" Like Kyle Reese makes an appearance, and it's a dream sequence. You're like, it's not needed. It's kind of stupid. It prolongs it, and there's a lot of just talking scenes where like there's something in my head. The microprocessor. You have to change it out.
Maybe this should be an entire episode of Hollywood is Dead, but director's cuts.
Oh yeah, we'll do that.
Because Donnie Darko, I think the director cut is way better.
Right.
Even though it does kind of spoon feed you.
Right.
I do enjoy it, even knowing what's going to happen. I enjoyed that version way better. T2, I agree with you. The original version is really perfect on its own. It's an amazing movie. It's weird to say an action movie is amazing, but T2 is amazing. It's an amazing movie. He changed Schwarzenegger overnight in that movie.
Yeah.
He went from a bad guy to a good guy, and nobody said anything about it. They're like, oh yeah, he's a good guy now.
Chill out, dickhead.
As soon as Linda Hamilton realizes in the insane asylum, oh, you're here to help me. Yeah. Audience is like, done. All right, we're good now.
Yeah.
You do not look back.
We also forget Aliens has a director's cut. The director's cut is actually very good. It adds a lot to it. I mean, it's a longer movie, but it's so well done. There's a lot of great scenes.
I did not finish the director's cut. Yeah, I watched the original. I watched Alien, the longer cut. I don't know. I don't think that one's even called a director's cut.
Well, yeah, they did 25th anniversary. It was the director.
Yes. Is that
Director's
technically
cut.
the
Like Blade
director's
Runner?
cut?
Blade Runner has the definitive 50 cuts or
Yeah,
whatever. I couldn't
Ridley
tell you the
Scott
difference.
just does thing, but it
Oh,
was
Blade
a
has
slightly longer version. It was just as good as the original. Nothing much added.
yeah.
Aliens.
Well,
I started to watch the director's cut, and I went, okay, I need to move on because I was trying to watch them in order to join on a show with Adam.
oh, okay.
So I did 3 and 4, and then we started talking about it, and I was caught up by then.
Right.
I did not watch the full Aliens director's cut.
Like Ridley Scott director
Is that
cut
worth it?
Yeah. The only thing that's worth it about Alien director cut is the scene where she finds
Not Aliens.
Oh, Aliens director's cut. Oh yeah, Aliens director cut's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really well done.
Are they adding more?
Yes. There's like 25 minutes of more stuff.
Is it just action?
Some of it. They have a whole opening sequence when you see Newt and her family find the spaceship and find the alien eggs. They have that whole sequence. You get to see the actual colony with colonists on it before the aliens take over, which was kind of cool. That was interesting. Yeah. And and the subplot, the Ripley subplot, which explains everything, is that she had a daughter, and when she was in space, she was frozen for 50 years. She comes back, her daughter's dead.
That makes more sense when you go into 3.
Well, for Newt, the whole thing, why she's so motherly to Newt is because she lost her daughter. And so she's dealing with the guilt of losing her daughter because she was in space floating for 50 years.
This goes back to our Twilight Zone discussion of Return of the Sorcerer, because Bill Bixby in real life lost his son while he was doing Courtship of Eddie's Father. Took on that actor, Michael something, I forget his last name, but literally took that kid on because that kid had like no parents in real life, and took him on and like raised him, and it was his new son.
Oh wow!
I wanted to bring that up during the show, but I couldn't find the time. But yeah, it sounds very familiar with that. But
that's a nice story about Bill Bixby.
Well, Bill Bixby, his son died, and then like a year and a half later, I don't remember how far apart, and then his wife couldn't get over it and killed herself.
Oh wow! Yeah, that's sad.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason I'm obsessed with the man, because he's just interesting and
what that's tragic. That's
really it's sad. Tragic, and the man kept moving on after that, and anyway, speaking of sucking, we need to move on because we're at 27 minutes now, and let's talk about True Lies.
That sounds like a fucking bet to me. No, a challenge to me. No, True Lies is amazing. It's never gone to Blu-ray. It's never been released on Blu-ray.
Really?
Never.
I had the Laserdisc. I think I know
why.
Why?
Because it is incredibly not of a different era. It is a different era movie.
You do have
they are
Clifton. What is it? Oh, we always.
No, it's a different. No, it's not. It's Clifton Curtis. It's not Chris. That's not him. That's a different actor.
It's the other guy.
It's another guy who he's done other stuff.
It's the other
he's
guy
actually
who's
very good.
It's the other guy who's definitely more Middle Eastern.
Yeah, this is a movie that will never be released on Blu-ray. They have never released it. I guess the Super Nintendo video game is actually really awesome, and people have been trying to get it for their.
You're right.
I never saw. I never got it. I was like, oh shit, I want to buy that. I want that game.
I never played it,
awesome.
but I did. I remember seeing it like recently, like pictures of that.
Yeah, I guess they said the game's actually really holds up pretty well, considering it's been like 30 years.
I'm gonna look into, because I never owned ever in my life a Super Nintendo.
Oh,
ever. I had Nintendo, and then I had Sega Genesis. I skipped Super Nintendo. It's like we had all the Nintendos. I went to a friend's house in elementary school who had Super Nintendo, and we played the Simpsons game where you were bored and you're throwing tomatoes at the faculty.
Right.
We played the shit out of that. But True Lies, I'm curious to play that now. I wonder if there's like one of those versions you can play now. I'm gonna look it up right now.
I'm sure there is. I wouldn't be surprised.
What
It's not like they can't do that. They can't mod it to anything.
in an effort to fast forward here, if you want to finish James Cameron today, what are your thoughts on True Lies? And then we'll move on.
Love it. True Lies is a wonderful film, and it's a wonderful movie for a 13-year-old to discover his sexuality. Because Jamie Lee Curtis does that strip scene where she gets down to her underwear and panties, and she looks amazing.
And Schwarzenegger has to hide the foreign tape recorder to play
the tape recorder.
Oh, I know that movie forward and back.
Dance sexily. Do it slowly. Do it sexily. Who wrote this shit? What is this?
He drops the tape and fast forwards it.
Yes.
Can I just say Bill Paxton as the car salesman who pisses his pants is amazing.
When he's telling Arnold Schwarzenegger about his wife, going, "Oh man, she's got an ass like a 10-year-old boy. Tits to make you want to beg for buttermilk." And he just has that. He punches him in the face, and
there's Tom Arnold.
His head, hilarious. Oh, look at that!
Tom Arnold as it really was the preface and the whole backstory for De Palma's version of Mission Impossible. I really do feel like he borrowed a lot from True Lies.
Sure, maybe
not like the cheesiness, but he borrowed the espionage parts of True Lies. He's the guy, and he has the thing in his ear, and he listens, and it did carry over nicely because I watched these when it came out. True Lies, I fucking loved.
Yeah, True Lies is great,
and I watched the shit out of that movie. And then Mission Impossible came out. My mom was like, "I watched this show growing up. Let's watch this," and we watched it. And then she's like, "Oh no, he's a bad guy." John Voight's character, he's the best part of the show. He's a bad guy now.
Right.
She was so pissed.
Yeah.
And I was like,
they ruined my heroes
right away. Like we were both pissed within 20 minutes. Mighty Ducks, Emilio Estevez, they killed him.
Hasta lasagna.
So funny.
Yeah, don't get on you.
Exactly. But remember Emilio
Red light. Green light.
Shaft. He's like,
yeah, it's great. I love this. Yeah,
it's great.
I like
the
Impossible one. I like the great version. I like that one.
It's
my
third favorite Mission Impossible movie.
All Christopher McQuarrie ones are really good.
Chris McQuarrie
ones are
the last one, the one before that, and then not Fallout though. Fallout does nothing for me.
Fallout's the one with the bomb goes off and Michelle Monaghan comes back. Is that one?
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, Henry Cavill.
Henry
Cavill in the helicopter chase, which was pretty good.
I like it, but it
doesn't hold up as well as the other ones.
I fucking love Rogue Nation, and then I go.
So okay, connecting.
We're so sidetracked already.
No. This is connecting tissue here. Tom Cruise had the record. Tom Cruise had the record for keeping his breath underwater for the one where he's in the. Remember, he's trying to get the file out of the underwater.
That's Rogue Nation.
That one? Okay.
Yeah.
He was underwater for 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes. Kate Winslet broke his record on Avatar 2. Underwater for 7 minutes. She was underwater for 7 minutes. How the fuck do you do that? I don't want to be in a James Cameron movie. I'm going to be underwater for 7 fucking minutes.
Speaking of which, there is a Mission Impossible video game for Nintendo 64 that I rented and played. And I kept it so long, they went, "Go ahead and keep it."
You already charged you $75,000 for it.
Sorry, I was looking up video games for True Lies, and I remembered. Oh fuck, I remember. It just came in my mind. But so Kate Winslet set the record for holding her breath
underwater.
How do you time that?
They have. I think it's because they have to. And I guess Tom Cruise said that he trained for it. I think she had to do the same training because you have to slow your heart rate and kind of be calm and allow yourself
meditation.
That time. Yeah, it's a mind over matter thing. But I guess Kate Winslet went 7 minutes, and I think James Cameron didn't even notice, and she was like, "I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't fun. I did not like it." Like, no shit, your brain probably went fucking dead. You put no oxygen to the brain, that will fucking make you a retard, Kate.
She's like, I want to suck Pete.
I was in Avatar. I said Avatar 2. What am I fucking retarded?
I'm Avatar. Pete Davidson, get in my mouth.
I'm gonna date Pete Davidson now. I'm a fucking loser.
I just looked at the Mission Impossible movies. I'm gonna go with my favorite being Rogue Nation, then Ghost Protocol, then the first one.
Which one's Rogue Nation?
Rogue Nation is the one where they have the screen, Simon Pegg and him, and they like move along. It's Christian McQuarrie's.
Is that the one with Jeremy Renner?
Yes.
Okay.
Ghost Protocol has Jeremy Renner too. That's the first one he's in. That's where they're in the Dubai.
Okay.
Ghost Protocol is Dubai.
Ghost Protocol is Dubai. Okay, yes. Yeah.
Yes, that's the one in the hotel, and that one's great. But I think Rogue Nation is better. That's the one where he dies because he can't hold his breath. That's that one.
Yeah, because Ghost Protocol is that McQuarrie or is that Brad Bird?
That is Brad Bird is Ghost Protocol.
Okay, yeah. All right. Yeah.
Rogue Nation and Fallout and the new one here, whatever that's called, are McQuarrie. But I really fucking enjoy Rogue Nation. Rogue Nation is great. Yeah. That's my jam. That's good. Like I like it's a good mix of James Bond and Mission Impossible. But the first Mission Impossible movie is I fucking love it. We are not talking about the Palm movies though. We are talking about
Jimmy C.
JC. Jesus Christ. Now we're leaving. Titanic is next.
We're leaving True Lies for another movie, Titanic, which I will say, I have to confess, I saw it opening day with my friend JC Yamamoto because we were bored and we were in a government class and it was a short day because it was Christmas vacation. So it was like a half a day and said, hey, this movie came out. It's supposed to be pretty good. Titanic, you want to see it? He says, yeah, sure, why not? So we drove to Tracy to go watch it. Little did we know that it was going to be 3 hours, but we did. I remember liking the movie. I did enjoy it, and then especially when Kate Winslet showed off her tatas, I was like, "This is great!" And we both were like, "Yeah, bro, this is awesome."
I wish it was within the first 10 minutes, so you could be like, "I'm gonna go."
Yes, and leave exactly. I'm gone. Thank you.
I wish the screen said, "Paint me like one of your French girls," and then she's showing her tits, and it goes, "There is no more nudity. The rest of the hour 20." Like, and then you're like, all right, bye.
Fuck you, JC.
All right, go ahead.
I'm out. No, but the one guy that I hate in this movie more than anything is the Italian guy. That guy's so annoying. Remember his friend who dies, thankfully dies. Oh. Hey, I'm going to America.
The so guy awful. Who's happy for DiCaprio that he got his ticket. Yes. That guy?
Yes. Yes,
I know what you mean.
He's with him, and
why isn't that guy Irish? Is beyond me.
I don't know. He probably couldn't do the Irish accent.
Okay, so
because he sucks.
You're right.
But biggest movie of all time. Thought it would be a failure. James Cameron pulls it out, becomes the biggest movie of all time, wins all the Oscars.
Biggest movie of all time. No,
right. Well, then it was the number one for like shit forever until fucking Avatar came out. He took that spot. He replaced himself.
That's what I'm saying. This is part of why we're talking about James Cameron. The guy keeps like upping. Yeah. He's like the Michael Jordan of filmmaking. He's like, I beat the old record for the Chicago Bulls. It was myself. Now I'm the biggest record holder. You're kind of like
crazy.
If you're not a Bulls fan, you're like, good job, man. I don't care. But like me, I'm like, fucking, he did it. Like, I'm a Bulls fan. So I'm like, the guy did it. But it's like, who cares? You beat yourself.
Right, yeah.
It's like,
and then on top of that,
Aaron would beat his own records there with like hitting records.
Yeah, but at least what you the difference between Michael Jordan victory and a James Cameron victory is Michael Jordan had really interesting, great victories. James Cameron's victories are mediocre at best. They're not that good. Like Titanic is okay. Avatar is okay. But I've seen better movies that don't even crack 100 million. Mad Max Fury Road should have made as much as Avatar, and that didn't happen.
Mad Max Fury Road is better than any movie James Cameron has ever been associated with.
Right? Yeah.
Simple, and it's the same.
Doesn't even come
same
close.
height. It's the same level that like Terminator 2 was.
Yeah.
I think the best comparison to Mad Max Fury Road versus James Cameron movie would be Terminator 2. And it's not even fucking close.
Yeah.
Mad Max Fury Road is way better. That's a 9 movie in my option, if you ask me. Terminator 2 is an 8. They're both amazing movies, don't get me wrong, but like it's not even close.
I think
wise.
Mad Max for me is Mad Max Fury Road I think is a 10 and T2's a 9. I think that's my placement. I think Mad Max is a perfect movie. Fury Road.
For an action movie, I don't disagree.
Great. Well, that's what I mean. For what it is, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because
you have
the
to
spectacle
judge
is
movie
so
what
amazing.
They are. It's the same thing I said with Abyss. Based on what it is, it's a fucking like 7 or 8 if you're in that
right,
movie.
exactly. Yeah.
Terminator 2, 8 or 9 for me.
Because 10s are for me, a 10 is like Last Crusade, Raiders of the Lost Ark,
Shawshank, Memento,
Godfather, Memento,
Seconds, Manchurian Candidate for me.
Right, yeah. There's specific movies that are 10s, but yeah, 9s are those are just almost a 10, but not quite.
Yeah,
is the rewatchability.
That's where I put Fury Road.
Yeah.
I put personally, I put Terminator 2 as an 8.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Because there's not enough heart in that movie for me.
Really, there's a lot of heart in that movie.
A lot. I wouldn't disagree.
There's a lot of heart in that movie.
I will not.
Come on.
No, I agree with the ending, and that's why it gets an 8. It gets like an. I put it as a 9. If I tell you my actual review,
would never get drunk and hit him.
I would just say, like, as an average moviegoer, I'd be like, yeah, that was a really good movie. But personally, I gave that movie a 9.
Yeah. Okay.
It is the Mad Max Fury Road, which I also gave a 9 of movies. Yeah. It's just that Mad Max, I think, is a far superior movie.
Well, sure. Oh, yeah, no. For sure. But I also, you always have that psychological edge on movies where movies have a special place in your heart because you saw it with somebody or you saw it when you were a certain age and just for some reason
a certain number of times.
2, when I was 10 years or 9 years old is when T2 came out, and I had the comic, the adaptation, and my uncle was at my aunt. I was at my aunt and uncle's house, and my uncle goes, "Hey, is that movie out right now?" I said, "Yeah." Well, let's go watch it. Let's go see it. It was an R-rated movie. I was 7, and we went and watched it. Or no, I'm sorry, I wasn't 7. I was 9 because it was 91, right? Yeah,
I was 7.
I was 9. Yeah. So I was 9. We went and watched it. It was fucking great. We all had a good time. He was my Uncle Bob, and they called him Uncle Bob in the movie, so we all looked at Uncle Bob.
Can we pause here for a second? I also had an Uncle Bob who took me to R-rated movies when I was a kid. Face Off.
Yep. Oh, okay, yeah.
The second movie we saw together was Good Will Hunting.
Wow.
And I was like, thank you so fucking much, Uncle Bob. My parents will not go to these. But these are 2 great fucking movies. You are right.
Yeah. That's fine.
Uncle Bob's everywhere. Thank you.
And I repaid Uncle Bob years later. I took him to a special screening of The Matrix with the supersonic sound, and he loved it. It was so great. No. Oh, no. That was later. That was after The Matrix now. But rest in peace, Uncle Bob. Rest in peace. Miss you, man. You were gone too soon. You were a fall-down drunk, alcoholic, real bad.
Wait, was he my uncle or yours?
Well, we all have our drunk uncles. He was pretty bad, but he was fun. But good man.
Because I'm going to go out and find one of those details now.
And
that was just Uncle Bob, you know.
He was a lawyer. He gets like out of cases. He just jumped out the window.
Question here, Dick. we're at 45. Do we keep going and finish, or continue part 2?
I think we're done. Avatar
Problem
2's
is,
out. I'm not
next week is our
gonna
last
see
episode
it.
of the
I don't
season. We're
care.
doing Christmas movies, so we can't get back to James Cameron
That's
until
fine.
next year.
That's fine, but we're done. I think what else to talk about other than him being kind of an asshole? I have no interest in Avatar 2.
Avatar's
I'm not gonna
last.
see it.
Let's just finish Avatar.
Yeah,
looking at
mediocre
his-
at best. Meh.
Yeah. How did
Meh.
that movie
Meh.
make $2 billion is beyond me.
That's the question.
Dick, I have a question for you. Who's your not actor? Who's your favorite character name from Avatar? What's your favorite line of dialogue from Avatar? What's your favorite location of Avatar other than the waterfall?
Pandora?
What's your exactly? That movie's a big fucking nothing burger, and he's obsessed
Sigourney
with them.
Weaver? I hate it. I did not.
Giovanni Ribisi, Stephen Lang.
Yeah, I didn't care.
It's the actors in it, and I don't know who's coming back. I don't give a shit. There's like 2, 3, 4, and 5 that's been on the docket.
That's not
for
gonna
a fucking 15-year span now.
That ain't gonna happen. Even Cameron said, "I don't think we'll make 3, 4, or 5." Even he said, "These movies cost too much, and I don't think it's gonna happen." Not with the way the business model is now.
At least
I think he's expecting it to bomb. I think he half expects it not to make it. Yeah, because I don't think it's he waited too long.
You know,
too long for that shit.
That's The Hurt Locker.
Yes,
it's a good movie
done by his fuck bitch, Catherine Bigelow.
By his fuck bitch who won Best Picture.
She won 2 Oscars, and he won 3 or 4. Good for them.
I
Good
will
for them
say
all.
this.
They all deserve each other.
Let's not discuss James Cameron further than this. You're right. Because I just
Done.
looked at his IMDb. It's all like a deleted scenes or, that sort of shit. Avatar fucking sucks. It's okay at best if you're a fan of that. I'm not. I like Ribisi. I like everyone involved in that movie. It's just the movie, I don't give a fuck about it. I don't give a solid fuck about it. The new movie looks like Avatar on water. They might as well just call it that.
It is called that. It's called Avatar: The Way of Water.
Yes, they might as well just call it Avatar but on water.
It's Avatar. It's Wavatar.
Water tarded is what they should call it. It's unnecessary. It's way too late.
Yeah, it's way too long. It's 3 hours and 15 minutes.
And I don't give a fuck. The Way of Water.
That's fucking crazy. Yeah, I have no
if what you're reporting is fact, James Cameron is completely correct that nobody gives a fuck about this. 2, 3, 4, and 5 will surely be canceled.
It's not gonna happen.
Same thing again. Obsession with the Titanic. Nobody gives a fuck, James.
But then again, he's been right the last 2 times.
He has. But if you're saying he's right and it's going to fail, then there you go. Because I believe it will also fail. The same reason every single movie that's not an established propriety will fail recently.
Well, this one's it'll do well in China, and I'll say that. It'll do well in China. And I think that's what they're expecting. I think they're expecting this movie to make $1 billion just in China alone, which might actually happen because they are fucking nuts. They loved Pandora.
I don't wish it any ill will, but I'm not going to see it ever. I can say I will never watch this movie on purpose.
Yeah.
Same thing. I feel exactly the way I do about the Transformers movies. I will never go out of my way. If someone puts it on in front of me and it happens to be on, I'll catch a part of it. And that's how I watched the first Transformers movie and was irritated.
I wish I did that because those movies are awful.
Let's get out of here.
Movies. Good night.
Next week on this show, the last episode of 2022. It's our last episode of the season, if you will. Our top 10 Christmas movies.
Yes.
It was on our list from
Fantastic.
before, so I'm just announcing it now.
Was it? Oh, good. It works for me. All right. Well, this is for all you sons of bitches and you, JC.
Fuck you, everybody. Good night.
Honestly, I love True Lies.